Shadow Minister Preet Kaur Gill.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I want to thank the Right Honourable Member for Sutton Coldfield for giving me advance sight of his statement. Madam Deputy Speaker, we have all been deeply shocked by the scenes from Turkey and northwest Syria. The damage done and the loss of life inflicted by these earthquakes and aftershocks is incomprehensible. The death toll between the two countries has surpassed 48,000 people. About 25 million people, a staggering figure, have been affected overall, with homes, businesses and key infrastructure destroyed. We are looking at a damage area of over 50,000 square kilometres. The Labour Party, and I'm sure each member present today, sends our deepest condolences, our thoughts and sympathies to all those whose lives have been devastated by this appalling tragedy. The many heartfelt contributions from members across this House in the Westminster Hall debate last Thursday demonstrate the strength of support for the people of Syria and Turkey at this time. Turkey is, of course, a close NATO ally and the partner of the United Kingdom, and there are many close ties of family and friendship between us, as with the people of Syria, many of whom have fled from the crisis there to be in the United Kingdom. We are duty-bound as a nation to respond to the challenges posed by this disaster, not just in the short term, but in the long term too, even as the cameras and headlines move on. While we have seen countless images of despair and devastation, I'm sure that all of us have heard the stories of bravery, resilience and hope. I hope that this disaster can show that the spirit of humanitarianism still prevails across much of the world. The response of the British public has, of course, been incredible. Over 30 million donated to the Disasters Emergency Committee appeal in its first day, which has now raised over 100 million. This shows the British public at its best. Generous, outward-looking and deeply concerned for the welfare of others around the globe. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my thanks to the search and rescue teams that sprang to action within hours of the tragedy to assist in saving people trapped under the rubble of buildings that have collapsed. Speed was absolutely critical in those 72 hours, and I was very proud to see how quickly British forces mobilised on a flight out to Gaziantep. In particular, I want to give my thanks to the volunteers from West Midlands Fire Service, Shayam, Sean, Mark, Agia, James, Mark, Joe and Paul, who flew out to Turkey, and Rob and Hannah, who supported from the United Kingdom. The UK government was right to respond quickly in those first 72 hours, and our support to the white helmets was vital, while humanitarian access to northwest Syria was impeded. And the delivery of medical assistance, rescue equipment and sniffer dogs to the disaster area has been important to help people in the immediate aftermath. However, we are now in a new phase of our response. Our support must not stop there. People are in need of emergency accommodation, food, healthcare, water and sanitary health, and the largest single need is for emergency shelter in both countries. The earthquake has not only resulted in additional displacement, but has also diminished the prospects for safe return of internally displaced persons from earthquake-affected areas. Even before the earthquake, an estimated 4.1 million people in northwest Syria relied on aid to meet their basic needs. And the UN estimates that in northwest Syria, 120 schools have been destroyed and 57 hospitals have been partially damaged or forced to suspend their services following the earthquakes. That is absolutely devastating. And for those who survive, hunger, dirty water or the bitter winter cold still pose a significant threat. It is in Britain's interest to support Turkey and Syria. It hosts the largest number of Syrian refugees displaced abroad due to the country's civil war, and in some of the affected areas, 50% of the population in Turkey are refugees. Through multilateralism and common purpose, we can stand together in the face of tragedy and do more than we can alone. The work that the UK has supported through our multilateral partners is significant, and a reminder of the many important partnerships that the UK has led in and often helped found over the years. The UN appeals for Turkey and Syria have now been announced, with a combined $1.4 billion requested for both countries over the next 3 months. And as yet, the UK has not announced any further direct support since the launch of these two appeals. What is the Minister doing to coordinate and scale up the humanitarian response with our international partners in the United Nations? And of the 30 million announced so far, can he say over what time frame that will be dispersed? How will this be distributed between the two countries? And crucially, can he confirm where that support has been drawn from and that it will not be taken from other planned in-country work or other humanitarian crises, such as in East Africa or Yemen? According to reports in December, the Syria country team was asked to find cuts of between 6 to 8 million. This would be utterly unconscionable in light of this disaster, which has befallen people who have already suffered so much. So can the Minister today confirm whether these cuts will still be going ahead? Ministers have been asked about this twice now and have not answered either time, so I'd be grateful for some answers today. Madam Deputy Speaker, humanitarian access in Syria remains an ongoing challenge. The obstruction of Bab al-Hawa, the only border crossing into Syria, in the first week following the earthquake meant life-saving support couldn't reach people who needed it. It has been disgraceful to see the damage that Russia's political game playing on the UN Security Council has done to people there by restricting humanitarian access. It is important and welcome, therefore, that the UN has brokered an agreement to reopen 2 further crossings for 3 months. However, this agreement must be extended. Most of the aid packages crossing the border have only a 12-week lifespan. Moreover, UN convoys are severely lagging compared to before the earthquake. On average, before the earthquake, roughly 650 to 700 trucks per month were passing through, but now with 2 more crossing points available, only 493 have accessed northwest Syria. A long-term strategy for aid and support is needed. What diplomatic efforts is the UK making to extend this agreement beyond 3 months and hold authorities to their word on humanitarian access? And will the Minister set out a long-term strategy for the UK support to the region? And does he recognise the interplay between the earthquake and the conflict in Syria? Thank you.